Yes, sir. We're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the Max Factory Figma Deadpool figure review. Let's do it.
This ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then fuck out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini matey I'm fucking with them. Hype beast, we know about you. Stay buying figs, don't know.
So I'm not going to spend too much time on the box, but there is the right flap. You can see Deadpool there with the unmasked head eating a chimichanga. It says Figma EX042. And then there's the opposite side with him in his boxer shorts. And it says Figma again, Max Factory. And a half look at the front. All right, let's get this guy out. All right, taking a look at Figma Deadpool out of the package, and let it be known this is actually the DX version. So the DX version comes with this little box here, and this is the, I guess this is the shorts, the undershorts accessory. Yes, it is, and some extra guns and stuff in here. So yeah, we'll get into all of that. This is the DX version. Had to pay a little bit extra for this figure. This figure was actually kind of expensive. It was almost $100, about $100, I guess, with the shipment. And a little bonus I'll throw in this video. I bought a little 1/12 scale Vespa when I knew I was going to get this guy too. So I guess I'll show that in this review. But initial reaction, I like this figure. It's a little small. I don't know how much mixing and matching with other lines you're going to be able to do and make it look proper as far as the scaling goes, but it's a nice figure. It's a little comic-y, I guess, or cartoony, some people have said, but it's pretty nice, man. He's got some nice accessories, some nice paint detailing, and it's not bad at all. All right, I'm rambling. Let's move on. Let's get into those accessories. So there's a lot to go over with this guy. I'm not going to swap out every individual hand and take time doing that. I will show all of the additional hands he gets because it's quite a few. I'm going to go over the parts and accessories that come standard, and then I'll go dive into the DX accessories. Again, that's a lot to go over. So 2 fisted hands out of the package. And then Figma always gives you this little wheel here that has all of the additional hands that you can stick them on there and keep them in a nice little baggie that they give you that always rips at the top. If you collect Figmas, you know what I mean. But he's got a set of fully open hands with the finger spread, and then he's got a set here that looks like they can be used for holding something. They're like semi-open, and then he's got a set of trigger fingers. And then he's got a set of semi-open hands that are kind of cupped. So that's 4 interchangeable sets there, aside from the 2 fists. So that's 5 in total so far. And then aside from those 5 complete sets, you get 1 right hand with the thumbs up. Then you get 1 kind of like gnarly, excellent dude hand. That's the left hand. You get 1 pointing finger, and that's the right hand. So this is all standard. This is all the standard hand accessories. And let it be known, all Figmas come with stands as well, so I never show that, but there you are. Then he's got his sheathed swords, and these can attach right to his back. These actually move too, so you can articulate it here and set them up however you want them, and they plug right into his back here. And one thing that Figma always does is they always have these like sort of haft swords and guns, so that way you can pull this out and you can actually put the regular elongated sword, in his hand. So both of these come out, so that way it's a little hard to get it out at first, but yeah, both of those come out, so that way when you have him in some action using his swords, then you know it works out. You don't see a sheath sword and then a sword in his hand, so that makes sense. So it was easy swapping the hands onto the peg. It's just might be a little issue with pulling the hands off and the entire peg coming out from the wrist. But the swords look good. They're not too long or anything like that. I think they look very good. And I like that all of these parts move. So when you're articulating the body, I'll get into the articulation, the full articulation shortly. But when you're articulating the body and posing them up and getting them in dynamic poses, you can kind of move these things to your liking or move them out of the way so they're not hindering the articulation. So that's cool. He holds the swords with no problem. They look good. It's a nice firm grip. No issues there. Swapped on the trigger finger hands and the peg didn't come out, so there was no issue there. But I'm putting the little knife in the sheath here, and just seeing how that fits. And that's a nice snug fit, so that's not going to fall out if you turn them upside down or whatever the case may be. And I like the handle. I like the way it kind of matches up with the costume, so that looks good. The deco looks good. It's very comic accurate, and it looks very good. But let's get these guns in his hands. And there's a look at the guns, and he can hold those with no problem. He can swap hands. You can have the revolver in the right hand or the left hand, and the automatic in the left or the right hand. And these look very good. I guess you could have probably used a little more detail on the guns, maybe. They pretty plain. They don't look as bad as Legends or anything like that. But yeah, I like the way his fingers are absolutely in the trigger groove there. You know, that all adds to the authenticity of holding the weapons and stuff like that. So this looks good. Taking a quick close look at this face. This is the one that comes standard out of the package. This is all part of the regular release or regular stock issue stuff. So let's look at the interchangeable heads. And the first interchangeable face that he has is this one. Can I get it on? All right, there we go. So there's that. And he's got sort of one eye closed smaller than the other. His left eye is squinting a little bit, and that looks good. Then he's got this one where the eyes look kind of like worried or scared, or I don't know. You can use these for quite a few different emotions, but that's pretty much it as far as stock stuff goes, as far as just what you would get with the regular release of Deadpool, and that is quite a bit of accessories. So let's get into the DX stuff now. All right, so he comes with this large assault rifle, I guess you can say. These, I don't know if these represent any real gun. They just kind of look like some futuristic, cartoony sort of guns, but you know, it's all chrome. It could have used a little more detailing, I guess, here in the handle and stuff like that, but it looks good. Again, like I said, it's not like it's a Marvel Legends gun, and he can hold these with no problem. And you know, he can hold dual wield them, or hold one and use one of the other open hands to kind of relax the gun on his other hand. So you know, all authentic, and you know, you can get him aiming them forward. So pretty cool. Then he's got a set of size that come with the DX accessories. He's got another interchangeable hand. This hand is designed for him to hold his chimichanga, and there's the chimichanga. And that looks good. And then he comes with another interchangeable head. Aside from just the front faceplate, you actually change out this entire head for the half unmasked head. Let me do that real quick. There's that. I'm gonna get this on. And there's that. So you can get him eating, and you can see he's got food in his mouth, and it looks like he's chewing. And you can see the little scabs on his face there. And this looks very good. Then the last thing you get is his legs and his boxer shorts here. So you're going to have to swap out this whole lower torso to swap on the legs with him with the boxer shorts on. So I'll get that done. It should be noted, this is not easy to pull this apart right here. I'm a little worried, actually. I'm trying to pull it apart, and I pulled apart the upper torso, which is fine. I mean, you know, you can see the ball peg in there, but I'm a little worried about trying to separate this lower torso. I don't think I'll be swapping out these legs too much, but the key is actually pulling off the legs first, and then you can pull off the pelvis. But again, it's not easy, and it's not like, it doesn't feel good. Like, you know, when you dealing with $100 figure, you don't want to mess anything up. So I was able to get it off with no issues so far, but that didn't feel good. Some progress. That was really a pain in the butt to try to get this on, and I just did not like that process. But I got the legs on here. It should be noted that there's a little ball peg there for that holster for that gun. So you know, if you needed to take that off to give you a little more elbow room, a little more finger room when you're trying to do this, then you can. There's a lot of moving parts with this guy, a lot of articulation, which I'll go over shortly. But yeah, it looks good. This was cool. I don't know if these extra DX accessories were worth the cost, but I mean, you get a lot here. It is a lot going on with this guy. He does retain the same articulation with the shorts on, or with the shorts exposed, or not. So I might as well go over the articulation real quick too. So the head and neck move separately. You will get a nice range of motion there. There's a ball joint, so you can move the head independently of the neck. And then the neck moves. The neck is pretty long. You'll get them to look down and up pretty far. Obviously, when you have them looking up, you may have that little gappage there, so that doesn't look that great. But you can definitely get him looking forward and left and right and pivot his head, and you got a lot of personality as far as the head and neck articulation goes. Then you got double ball points at the shoulders, and the arm can fully rotate on that ball joint, and it sort of acts as a butterfly joint as well. So that's a nice joint in there, and it's deep. You can get his arms deep down. You can get his arms almost crossed to the front, to the back. You get a nice range of motion there. Then you also get upper torso articulation, as you saw it as a ball peg in there. Then you also get waist articulation here, and you can get them crunching pretty far forward and pretty far back. You get the double ball points. There you go. See, that's popping off. What a pain in the ass. So you get the double ball pegs there, and it can rotate there. His legs can get up pretty far. You do get a nice deep double jointed knee, and because the feet swap out here, oh no, there is no rotation. I'll show you how that looks. It's just a little peg there, so you can't rotate there, but you can rotate at the boot. You do get a hinge and a nice pivot, and you do get a toe joint. And as far as the hands go, I skipped over the hands. You get wrist swivel and a hinge. You get almost a double jointed, a little bit more than 90 degrees, but it is a very nice range of motion on this guy. You will definitely get some dynamic poses out of him, but getting these legs swapped on and getting them to stay on is definitely an issue. And also, like I mentioned, you know, these move as well, the hostess move. It's sort of like on a little ball, so it can kind of hinge a little bit as well as turn. And that's on that particular one, and this one on his leg as well. You can see that little ball peg, so that can come off too, but it does not hinder the articulation. So like I said, quite a bit of articulation on this guy. A couple quick size comparisons. As you can see, the Figma Deadpool is the smallest of the Deadpools released from the various companies so far. We got the Revoltech Deadpool on the far left, and we have the Marvel Legends on the far right. So you're not going to really be doing any swaps as far as parts and accessories between them either. You know, that Marvel Legends fully unmasked head is not going to really work on that Figma body. It's way too small. So probably going to have to kind of like fudge it or mix and match Deadpool with other Figma figures. I'm sure we'll see Deadpool facing off against the Gorlokovich soldiers from Metal Gear, and maybe some funny things with Solid Snake. Let me get him in here too, because I know there was some misconceptions about whether or not it was the same body as Solid Snake, and it is absolutely not. Real quick before I grab Solid Snake, you can see him next to the Marvel Legends Cable, so Cable is towering over him. Again, you're not going to really be able to do that unless you do some perspective shots or something like that. So definitely not in scale with Legends or pretty much anything else aside from Figma. There he is next to the Figma Solid Snake, which is still one of my favorite Figma offerings. Some people have had some quality control issues with this figure, as do a lot of Figmas have quality control. After time, they get really loose, they have issues. I really like the Figma Hulk, but that figure just literally falls apart in your hand. Like, it just does not stay together. It's almost like a knockoff. But my Solid Snake has held up pretty well over time. He's a little loose maybe in the torso area, just a little bit, but it's not as bad as some I've seen. But with handling this Deadpool and seeing how you swap out the parts and stuff like that, I do feel that over time you may have some issues with the joints getting loose. But yeah, like I said, these bodies are not the same. Definitely different scopes between the two of them. You can see that Solid Snake is a little more girthier than Deadpool. They made Deadpool very like lanky and slender. They could have made him a little more muscular, I think. Alright, so yeah, Figma Deadpool's a very fun figure. A lot of fun factor with all of the accessories and interchangeable parts and stuff. But again, I am very concerned about swapping out the legs to put him in the boxer shorts and stuff like that. So I just left him in the boxer shorts throughout this whole time, just so I could set up this little scene for the end of the review. And then I'll swap his legs back on and give you the little bonus with the Vespa. I'll show that real quick. I don't think I'm going to review the Vespa, but I'll show it at the end of this video. But this cost me about 9,000 yen, which is about $80 USD. So It wasn't quite 100 because I got it directly from Japan, but once you start trying to get this domestically, it's going to be $100 figure for the most part. And then I don't think that you'll be able to have the get the DX version in the States. So you would definitely have to go through one of the Japanese sites if it's even still available. You all right over there?
Yeah.
All right. If it's even still available, my daughter's falling on her head. And yeah, but this is one that I would recommend though. Aside from the little shaky situation with swapping out the parts, again, it is a fun figure. I'm looking forward to displaying them and getting them in some different things, and even swapping out some of his accessories for some other people, which I'll show too at some point. I don't think I'm gonna put that in this video, but it'll be in another video. All right, moving right along to the final scene. So as promised, a little bonus here. I was able to pick up this little Vespa too. It's by New Way, 1/12 scale die-cast Vespa. It does seem a little delicate on some of the parts, especially the two little mirrors and the handles, but it's very nice. It's a real nice cherry red chrome sort of finish. I got a little cup under here holding them up, but it does have a kickstand. You can get it to sit up with a kickstand, but if you want to kind of get them riding it, you're going to need a little stand or something to prop them up. But obviously it fits really well, and as I mentioned in this review, this Deadpool is a little smaller than some of the previous offerings, so this fits perfectly for this Deadpool. I guess I could probably get the Legends version on here too, and it'll look fine. But yeah, I had to pick this up. It was only about $13 or $15 or something like that USD. So yeah, I definitely grabbed this, and I know there's plenty of 1/12 scale Vespas out there. People have been buying Vespas for Deadpool for quite some time, so figured I'd show this and show them on it. But again, this is a figure I would recommend as far as the fun factor goes and display possibilities and doing A.C.B.A. and doing all of that stuff. But I wouldn't pay $100 for this figure though. I definitely wouldn't do that. So it's up to you. As always, thanks for hanging out. Rate, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.
Crispy.
And two more things to note real quick before I get out of here, actually. I didn't have this pop all the way down on this peg on the neck, so you saw it kind of exposed in some parts of the review. So that's one. You can actually get that to pop on there a little better, so it's not as exposed when you articulate the neck. And two, when I swapped these legs back on, it was much easier to swap the legs back on than it was to take them off, but it's still a kind of shaky situation. So yeah, all right, I'm out of here. Peace.